Hello everybody. In this video we will see one of the most important and used methodologies to specify value. We're talking about the 8 quality dimensions developed by Garvin and presented in the Harvard Business Review. The specify value, as you may remember, is the first stage in one methodology to implement lean manufacturing. It's the critical starting point for lean to define what is value. One of the main considerations we have to do is that value can be only be defined by the ultimate customer, right? And it's only meaningful when expressed in terms of a specific product. This is important. It has to be specific, so it actually adds value to the knowledge about the customer and what they really want, to make it more not a faceless customer, but a customer with colors, with details, with wants and desires. This is what we want. There are several methods to specify value, and we're going to jump right into the 8 dimensional quality. As you can see, we have the first one is performance, the second is feature, the third one is reliability, for conformance, fifth durability, sixth serviceability, seven aesthetics, and eight perceived quality. What is the relevance? Why do we need some tool or methodology to specify value, since it is easy to just ask the customer? Well, the answer is precisely in that. We need to ask the customer, but we need to make sure that we hear the whole story, even if he or she hasn't asked those questions. For instance, sometimes durability is an issue, sometimes it's not. What about in those issues in which aesthetics is a high priority, however durability is something that is a given? Sometimes the customer believes that the company is going to define it, but in the end, everybody forgets about it, and a product is not well defined and does not comply with all the value that is required for. So, in order to make sure that it doesn't happen like that, the tools such as the 8 dimensions of quality is going to help us to browse, to go one by one, to ask those questions what the customer want, and to fit in the answers or the requirements that they are given upfront, and make sure that we have the whole picture. That nothing is forgotten. Each of those dimensions has to be defined in order to understand it. For instance, performance. We can say that is the primary operating characteristics of a product. For instance, a ball, a football, soccer ball, is basically being round, spheric, and be used for the games. Features. Those are characteristics that supplement basic product performance features. In this case, it can be the colors, it can be the type of leather that they have, it can be the logos that they are printed on it, and some other marks that make her, for instance, distinguish the original from the generic replicas. Reliability. Reliability is the probability of a product success within a specific period of time. So, reliability is about if it is working and what is the probability of that working properly in a specific period of time. If it is the life cycle lasts 5 years, in those 5 years, what is the probability that it can be used at the time that we need it? That it is reliability. For instance, you can say, okay, it has 2 breaks every year, or we can lose 10, it is not available 10 times out of 100 that we needed. That we're talking about reliability. Conformance. Conformance is the degree to which a product design and operating characteristics meet pre-established standards. The key word here is standards. For instance, conformance to a specific norm regulation, ISO regulation, or some sort of norm, standard, and regulation is what we talk about here on the conformance. Durability. Durability is measure of product life. Amount of time of use one obtained from the product before it physically deteriorates, is not longer usable. So durability we can measure in time, let's say days, months, years probably, that the product is going to work properly. Serviceability. This one talks about, remember, we're defining the value of a product. Serviceability is what is complementing that product, such as the maintenance service, such as the speed of the service, the courtesy, the easy use, the intuitive or friendly design that they have. That's serviceability. Aesthetics. Aesthetics is more, in this case, is more about senses and the result and the impact on the senses from the product. It talks about looks, feels, sounds, taste, or smell of a product. And finally, but not less important, as you may see, perceived quality relates to the customer's subjective opinion of the product or company's reputation. Sometimes we know something not by the experience, not by using it, but by reputation, recommendation usually, right? Somebody recommended or does not recommend it, and therefore that is a perceived quality that they may have. So this is a brief explanation of what the Garvin 8 quality dimension is about. Thank you. In the next video, we're going to see an example for a cell phone